Youth Action Theatre presents Julius Caesar, written by William Shakespeare, adapted and directed by Tom Wright and Joe Evans. Act 3.
The Ides of March are come.
Aye, Caesar, but not gone.
Hail, Caesar! Read this schedule.
Trebonius doth desire you to o'erread, at your best leisure, this his humble suit.
O Caesar, read mine first, for mine's a suit that touches Caesar nearer. Read it, great Caesar.
What touches us ourselves shall last be served.
Sirrah, give place.
What, urge you your petitions in the street? Come to the capital.
I wish your enterprise today may thrive.
What enterprise, Popilius?
Fare you well.
What said Popilius Laner?
He wished today our enterprise might thrive. I fear our purpose is discovered.
Look how he makes to Caesar. Mark him.
Casca, be sad until we fear prevention. Brutus, what shall be done? If this be known, Cassius or Caesar never shall turn back, for I will slay myself.
Cassius, be constant. Popilius Laner speaks not of our purposes. For look, he smiles, and Caesar doth not change.
Trebonius knows his time, for look you, Brutus, he draws Mark Antony out of the way.
Where is Metellus Cimber? Let him go and presently prefer his suit to Caesar.
He is addressed. Press near and second him.
Casca, you are the first that rears your hand.
Are we all ready? What is now amiss that Caesar and his senate must redress?
Most high, most mighty, and most puissant Caesar, Metellus Cimber throws before thy seat an humble heart.
I must prevent these, Cimber. These couchings and these lowly courtesies might fire the blood of ordinary men, and turn preordinance and first decree into the law of children. Be not fond to think that Caesar bears such rebel blood that will be thawed from the true quality with that which melteth fools. I mean sweet words, low-cooked courtesies, and base spaniel fawning. Thy brother by decree is banished. If thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him, I spurn thee like a cur out of my way. No Caesar doth no wrong, nor without cause will he be satisfied.
Is there no voice more worthy than mine own to sound more sweetly in great Caesar's ear for the repealing of my banished brother?
I kiss thy hand, but not in flattery, Caesar, desiring thee that Publius Cimber may have an immediate freedom of repeal.
What, Brutus?
Pardon, Caesar, Caesar, pardon. As low as to thy foot doth Cassius fall to beg enfranchisement for Publius Cimber.
I could be well moved if I were as you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me. But I am constant as the northern star, of whose true fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. They are all fire, and every one doth shine. But there's but one in all doth hold his place. So in the world 'tis furnished well with men, and men are flesh, and blood, and apprehensive. Yet in the number I do know but one, that unassailable holds in his rank, unshaked of motion, and that I am he. Let me a little show it even in this, that I was constant Cimber should be banished, and constant do remain to keep him so.
Oh, Caesar!
Hence wilt thou lift up Olympus!
Great Caesar!
Doth not Decius barefoot kneel?
Speak for me, Hans!
Et tu, Brute. Then fall, Caesar.
Liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead. Run hence, proclaim, cry it about the streets.
Someone to the common pulpits and cry out liberty, freedom, and enfranchisement.
People and senators, be not affrighted. Fly not, stand stiff, ambition's debt is paid.
Go to the pulpit, Brutus.
And Cassius, too.
Where's Publius?
Here, quite confounded with this mutiny.
Stand fast together. lest some friend of Caesar's chance.
Talk not of standing. Publius, good cheer. There is no harm intended to your person, nor to no Roman else. So tell them, Publius.
Do so, and let no man abide this deed but we the doers.
Where is Antony?
Fled to his house amazed. Men, wives, and children stare, cry out, and run as if it were doomsday.
Fates, we will know your pleasures. That we shall die we know 'tis but the time and drawing days out that men stand upon.
Why? He that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death.
Grant that. And then is death a benefit? So are we Caesar's friends that have abridged his time of fearing death? Stoop, Romans, stoop! And let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood up to the elbows and besmear our swords, that we walk forth even unto the marketplace and waving our red weapons over our heads. Let's cry, peace, freedom and liberty!
Stoop then and wash. How many ages hence shall this our lofty scene be acted over in states unborn and accents yet unknown? So oft as that shall be, so often shall the knot of us be called the men that gave their country liberty.
What, shall we forth?
Aye, every man away. Brutus shall lead, and we will grace his heels with the most boldest and best hearts of Rome.
Soft. Who comes here? A friend of Antony's.
Thus, Brutus, did my master bid me kneel. Thus did Mark Antony bid me fall down. And, being prostrate, thus he bade me say, Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal, and loving. Say, I love Brutus, and I honour him. Say, I feared Caesar, honoured him, and loved him. If Brutus will vouchsafe that Antony may safely come to him, and be resolved how Caesar hath deserved to lie in death, Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead so well as Brutus living, but will follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus, thorough the hazards of this untrod state with all true faith. So says my master Antony.
Thy master is a wise and valiant Roman. I never thought him worse. Tell him, so please him come unto this place. He shall be satisfied, and by my honour depart untouched.
I'll fetch him presently.
I know that we shall have him well to friend.
I wish we may, but yet I have a mind that fears him much, and my misgiving still falls shrewdly to the purpose.
But here comes Antony. Welcome, Mark Antony.
O mighty Caesar, dost thou lie so low? Are all thy conquests, glories, triumphs, spoils shrunk to this little measure? Fare thee well. I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else is rank? If I myself. There is no hour so fit as Caesar's death hour, nor no instrument of half that worth as those your swords, made rich with the most noble blood of this world. I do beseech ye, if you bear me hard, now, whilst your purpled hands do reek and smoke, fulfil your pleasure.
Oh, Antony, beg not your death of us. Our hearts you see not, they are pitiful, and pity to the general wrong of Rome. As fires drive out fire, so pity hath done this deed on Caesar. For your part, to you our swords have leaden points, Mark Antony. Our arms in strength of malice, and our hearts of brother's temper do you receive with all kind of love, good thought, and reverence.
I doubt not your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand. First, Marcus Brutus will I shake with you. Next, Caius Cassius do I take your hand. Now, Decius Brutus, yours. Now yours, Metellus. Yours, Cinna, and, my valiant Casca, yours. Though last, not last in love, yours, good Trebonius, virtuous all. Alas, what shall I say? My credit now stands on such slippery ground, that one of two bad ways you must conceit me, either a coward or a flatterer. That I did love thee, Caesar, 'tis true. If then thy spirit look upon us now, shall it not grieve, thy dearer than thy death, to see thy Anthony making his peace, shaking the bloody fingers of thy foes, most noble, in the presence of thy corse? Had I as many eyes as thou hast wounds, weeping as fast as they stream forth thy blood, it would become me better than to close in terms of friendship with thine enemies.
Mark Antony.
Pardon me, noble Cassius, the enemies of Caesar shall say this, then in a friend it is cold modesty.
I blame you not for praising Caesar so, but what compact mean you to have with us? Will you be pricked in number of our friends, or shall we on, and not depend on you?
Therefore I took your hands, but was indeed swayed from the point by looking down on Caesar. Friends, am I with you all, and love you all, upon this hope that you shall give me reasons why and wherein Caesar was dangerous.
Or else this were a savage spectacle? Our reasons are so full of good regard that you were Antony, the son of Caesar. You should be satisfied.
That's all I seek, and am moreover suitor that I may produce his body to the marketplace, and in the pulpit, as becomes a friend, speak in the order of his funeral.
You shall, Mark Antony.
Brutus, a word with you. You know not what you do. Do not consent that Antony speak in his funeral.
By your pardon, I will myself into the pulpit first, and show the reason of our Caesar's death. What Antony shall speak, I will protest he speaks by leave and by permission, and that we are contented Caesar shall have all true rights and lawful ceremonies. It shall advantage more than do us wrong.
I know not what may fall. I like it not.
Mark Antony, here. Take you Caesar's body. You shall not in your funeral speech blame of us, but speak all good you can devise of Caesar, and say you do it by our permission.
Be it so. I do desire no more.
Prepare the body then and follow us.
Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art the ruins of the noblest man that ever lived in the tide of times. Woe to the hand that shed this costly blood. Over thy wounds do I now prophesize, which, like dumb mouths, do ope their ruby lips to beg the voice and utterance of my tongue. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men. Domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use, and dreadful objects so familiar, that mothers shall but smile when they behold their infants courted with the hands of war. All pity choked with custom of fell deeds, and Caesar's spirit ranging for revenge with Arte by his side shall come hot from hell, shall in these confines with a monarch's voice cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war. That this foul deed shall smell above the earth with carrion men groaning for burial. You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not?
I do, Mark Antony.
Caesar did write for him to come to Rome.
He did receive his letters and is coming. And bid me say to you by word of mouth, "Oh, Caesar!"
Thy heart is big. Get thee apart and weep. Passion, I see, is catching. For mine eyes, seeing those beads of sorrow stand in thine, begin to water. Is thy master coming?
He lies tonight within 7 leagues of Rome.
Post back with speed, and tell him what hath chanced. Here is a mourning, Rome, a dangerous Rome. No Rome of safety for Octavius. Yet. Hie hence, and tell him so.
We will be satisfied.
Let us be satisfied.
Then follow me and give me audience, friends. Cassius, go you into the other street and part the numbers. Those that will hear me speak, let him stay. Those that will follow Cassius, go with him, and public reasons shall be rendered of Caesar's death.
I will hear Brutus speak.
I will hear Cassius, and compare their reasons, when severally we hear them rendered.
The noble Brutus is ascended. Silence!
Be patient to the last. Romans, countrymen, and lovers, hear me for my cause and be silent, that you may hear, believe me for mine honour, and have respect to mine honour that you may believe. Censure me in your wisdom and awake your senses that you may the better judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar, to him I say that Brutus's love to Caesar was no less than his. And then the friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar? This is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves, than that Caesar were dead to live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was valiant, I honour him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. Who is here so base that would be a bondum? If any speak, for him I have offended. Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? If any speak, for him I have offended. Who is here so vile that would not love his country? If any speak, for him I have offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. The question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol, his glory not extenuated, wherein he was worthy, nor his offences enforced, for which he suffered death. Here comes the body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hand in this death, shall receive the benefit of his dying, a place in the commonwealth, as which you shall not. With this I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself, when it shall please my country to need my death.
Live, Brutus! Live! Bring him with triumph home unto his house.
Give him a statue of his ancestors.
Let him be Caesar.
Caesar's better part shall be crowned in Brutus.
We'll bring him home to his house with shouts and clamours.
My countrymen!
Peace, silence, Brutus speaks.
Good countrymen, let me depart alone, and for my sake stay here with Antony. Do grace to Caesar's corpse and grace his speech, tending to Caesar's glory, which Mark Antony, by our permission, is allowed to make. I do entreat you, not a man depart, save I alone, till Antony have spoke.
Stay home, and let us hear Mark Antony.
Let him go up into the public chair. We'll hear him. Noble Antony, go up!
For Brutus' sake, I am beholding to you.
What does he say of Brutus?
He says for Brutus' sake he finds himself beholding to us all.
Twere best he speak no harm of Brutus here.
This Caesar was a tyrant.
Nay, that's certain. We are blessed that Rome is rid of him.
Peace. Let us hear what Antony can say.
You gentle Romans.
Peace, ho. Let us hear.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones, so let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it was so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honourable man, so are they all honourable men, come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honourable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When that the poor hath cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honourable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure he is an honourable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but I am here to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? O judgment, thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me.
Methinks there is much reason in his saying.
If thou consider rightly of the matter, Caesar has had great wrong.
Has he, masters? I fear there will a worse come in his place.
Marked ye his words? He would not take the crown. Therefore 'tis certain he was not ambitious.
If it be found so, some will dear abide it.
Poor soul. His eyes are red as fire with weeping.
There's not a nobler man in Rome than Antony.
But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now lies he there, and none so poor to do him reverence. O masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I should do Brutus wrong, and Cassius wrong, who, you all know, are honourable men. I will not do them wrong. I rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you, than I will wrong such honourable men. But here's a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. 'Tis his will. Let's but the commons hear this testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read, and they would go and kiss dead Caesar's wounds, and dip their napkins in his sacred blood. Ye beg a hair of him for memory, and dying, mention it within their wills, bequeathing it as a rich legacy unto their issue.
We'll hear the will. Read it, Mark Antony.
Have patience, gentle friends, I must not read it. It is not meet, you know, how Caesar loved you. You are not wood, you are not stones, but men. And being men, bearing the will of Caesar, it will inflame you. It will make you mad. 'Tis good you know not that you are his heirs. For if you should, what would come of it?
Read the will. We'll hear it, Antony.
Will you be patient? Will you stay a while? I have overshot myself to tell you of it. I fear I wrong the honourable men whose daggers have stabbed Caesar. I do fear it.
They were traitors, honourable men.
They were villains, murderers. The will. Read the will.
You will compel me, then, to read the will. Then make a ring about the corpse of Caesar, and let me show you him that made the will. Shall I descend, and will you give me leave?
Descend!
You shall have leave.
Stand from the hearse, stand from the body.
A ring, stand around. Room for Antony. Most noble Antony.
Nay, press not so upon me, stand far off.
Room!
Stand back!
Bear
Room!
back!
Bear back!
Stand back!
If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. You all do know this mantle. I remember the first time Caesar put it on. 'Twas on a summer's evening in his tent, the day he overcame the Nervi. Look, in this place ran Cassius's dagger through. See what a rent the envious Casca made. Through this the well-beloved Brutus stabbed, and as he plucked his cursed steel away, mark how the blood of Caesar followed it, as rushing out of doors to be resolved if Brutus so unkindly knocked or no. For Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, O you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most unkindest cut of all. Oh, now you weep, and I perceive you feel the dint of pity. These are gracious drops. Kind souls, what weep you when you but behold our Caesar's vesture wounded? Look you here. Here is himself, marred, as you see, with traitors.
Oh, piteous spectacle.
noble Caesar.
Oh, woeful
Oh, this
day.
bloody sight.
We will be revenged.
Let not a traitor live.
Stay, countrymen.
Peace there. Hear the nobleman.
We'll hear him. We'll follow him. We'll die with him.
Good friends, sweet friends, let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. They that have done this deed are honourable. What private griefs they have, alas, I know not, that made them do it. They are wise and honourable, and will no doubt, with reasons, answer you. I come not, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator, as Brutus is, but, as you all know me, a plain, blunt man, that love my friend, and that they know full well that gave me public leave to speak of him. For I have neither wit, nor words, nor worth, action, nor utterance, nor the power of speech to stir men's blood. I only speak right on. I tell you that which you yourselves do know. Show you sweet Caesar's wounds, poor dumb mouths, and bid them speak for me. But were I Brutus, and Brutus Antony, there where an Antony would ruffle up your spirits, and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar that should move the stones of Rome to rise and mutiny.
We'll burn the house of Brutus.
Away then! Come, seek the conspirators!
Yet hear me, countrymen, yet hear me speak.
Peace, hold! Hear Antony!
Why, friends, you go to do you know not what. Wherein hath Caesar thus deserved your loves? Alas, you know not. I must tell you then. You have forgot the will I told you of.
Most true.
Here is the will, and under Caesar's seal. To every Roman citizen he gives, to every several man, 75 drachmas.
Most noble Caesar, we will revenge his death.
Oh, royal Caesar!
Hear me with patience.
Peace, hold!
Moreover, he hath left you all his walks, his private arbours and new planted orchards on this side of the Tiber. He hath left them you, and to your heirs forever. Common pleasures, to walk abroad and recreate yourselves. Here was a Caesar, when comes such another?
Never, never. Come, away, away. We'll burn his body in the holy place, and with the brands fire the traitors' houses. Take up the body.
Go fetch fire.
Pluck down benches! Pluck down forms, windows, anything!
Now let it work. Mischief, thou art afoot. Take thou what course thou wilt.
Sir Octavius has already come to Rome. He and Lepidus are at Caesar's house.
And thither will I straight to visit him. He comes upon a wish fortune is merry, and in this mood will give us anything.
I heard him say Brutus and Cassius are rid like madmen through the gates of Rome.
Belike they had some notice of the people. How I had moved them. Bring me to Octavius.
I dreamt tonight that I did feast with Caesar, and things unlucky charge my fantasy. I have no will to wander forth of doors, yet something leads me forth.
What is your name?
Whither are you going?
Where do you dwell?
Are you a married man or a bachelor?
Answer every man directly.
Aye, and briefly.
Aye, and wisely.
Aye, and truly. You are best.
What is my name? Whither am I going? Where do I dwell? Am I a married man or a bachelor? Then to answer every man directly and briefly, wisely and truly, wisely I say, I am a bachelor.
That's as much as to say they are fools that marry. You'll bear me a bang for that, I fear. Proceed directly.
Directly. I am going to Caesar's funeral.
As a friend or an enemy?
As a friend.
That matter is answered directly.
For your dwelling, briefly.
Briefly, I dwell by the Capitol.
Your name, sir, truly.
Truly, my name is Cinna.
Tear him to pieces. He's a conspirator.
I am Cinna the poet. I am Cinna the poet.
Tear him for his bad verses.
I am not Cinna the conspirator.
It is no matter. His name's Sinner. Pluck but his name out of his heart and turn him going.
Tear him, tear him.
Come, brands ho! Firebrands! To Brutus, to Cassius, burn all! Some to Decius' house, and some to Casca's, some to Ligarius. Away, go!
We hope you've enjoyed Act 3 of Julius Caesar, with Abby Llewellyn as Decius Brutus, Alex Farley as the soothsayer and Cinna the poet, Alfie Kennedy as first citizen, Anton Agiev as Antony's servant, Daniel Lee as Popilius, Daniel Siner as Publius, Emmy Coates as Cassius, Charlie Cuthbert as Casca, Jake O'Hare as Mark Antony, James Maslin Bosher as second citizen, Lily Tomlinson as Artemidorus and third citizen, Ollie Barton as Brutus, Oliver Hickey as Julius Caesar, Rosie Barber as Octavius's servant, Matilda Brunger as Metellus Cimber, Tom Richards as Trebonius, and Will Lister as Cinna. This production was adapted and directed by Tom Wright and Joe Evans, edited by Jack Tidball with the assistance of Megan Baxter. Special thanks to Richter Kirkov and the rest of the Youth Action Theatre Committee for their help and support. Youth Action Theatre is a charitable organisation offering free theatre experience for young people. We are funded entirely by ticket sales and by the generosity of our supporters. If you're able to help us at this difficult time, we'd be very grateful if you'd visit our donation page and consider making a contribution. On behalf of the cast and crew who made all this possible, thank you.